3 minutes. That is all a speed dater gets to make an impression. And in your exam, that is about all the time you get per question. So let us make every second count. This is a complete sample test built on Lesson 1A, and before a single question, we are going to revise exactly what you need to solve it. First, question formation, context, and vocabulary. Then a full reading strategy, how to find the main idea, which key words to underline, and how to handle stated, not stated, and inferential questions. Then the 17-question sample test with the answer and the reason for every single one. Every slide is also translated into Arabic, so read the screen as you listen. Grab a pen. Part 1, the revision. A few minutes that will win you marks. Start with the golden rule of question formation. English questions follow one order: question word, auxiliary, subject, then the main verb. Where did you go on holiday? Where is the question word. Did is the auxiliary. You is the subject. Go is the main verb. If your sentence breaks that order, it is wrong, no matter how good it sounds. Now, which auxiliary? Look at the tense. Present simple takes do or does. Past simple takes did, and after did, the main verb goes back to its base form. Did you went is a classic trap, but if the sentence already has an auxiliary like is, are, have, has, will, or can, you do not add another one. You simply move it in front of the subject. Here is the rule that catches almost everybody. Subject questions. Normally we ask, who did she call? She is the subject, so we need did. But when the question word itself is the subject, we use no auxiliary at all, and we keep normal word order. Who wrote Crime and Punishment? Not who did write. So ask yourself, am I asking about the person doing the action or the person receiving it? If it is the doer, drop the auxiliary. Second big one, indirect questions. When a question is hidden inside a longer sentence, like could you tell me or do you know, the inside part stops being a question, so no inversion and no do, does, or did. Where is the station becomes could you tell me where the station is. The verb slides to the end, and watch the punctuation. If the sentence begins with do you know, the whole thing still ends with a question mark. 3 quick finishers. 1. Prepositions stay at the end. What kind of music do you listen to? Never delete that too. 2. Negative questions. The contraction goes straight after the question word. Why aren't you coming? 3. Choose the right question word. How much for uncountable things like money? How many for countable things? How long for duration? How often for frequency? How far for distance? And how tall or how old for measurement? Now see them inside a full sentence. Look at the underlined part on screen. How far is it from Muscat to Nizwa? That asks about distance. How long have you been learning English? Duration. How often do you go to the theater? Frequency. How much do you earn? An uncountable amount. And how many languages do you speak? A countable number. Notice the pattern. The question word changes, but everything after it keeps the same order. Auxiliary, subject, main verb. Quick self-check. Fix this sentence. Where you went last year. You need an auxiliary. Where did you go last year? And notice, go, not went. Skill 2, working out meaning from context. You are not supposed to know every word. You are supposed to work it out. 3 moves. First, decide the part of speech. Is it a noun, a verb, or an adjective? Second, hunt for clues in the words around it. Examples, contrasts, and signal words like but, however, or so. Third, put your guess back into the sentence and check that it still makes sense. Now the lesson vocabulary you must own. A prospective partner is a possible future partner. Courtship is the romantic period before marriage. A scorecard is where you write your points. A match is when 2 people fit together. To giggle is to laugh in a silly way. A grimace is a face that shows pain. To chat someone up is to talk to them because you are attracted to them. And to raise your eyebrows shows surprise. Part 2. Reading strategy. Do not answer a single reading question until you can do these 3 things. Step 1. Finding the main idea. 4 moves. Read the first and the last sentence of every paragraph, because that is where writers put the point. Then ask yourself, which idea repeats from the beginning to the end? That repeated idea is your main idea. Remember, the main idea must cover the whole text, while a detail covers only one paragraph, and reject any option that is too narrow or too wide. An option can be completely true and still be the wrong answer, because it only covers part of the text. Step 2. Underline the key words and do it in the question before you go back to the text. Underline names, numbers, dates, and places because they are the easiest things to scan for. Underline limiting words like always, never, only, most, and all because one of those words can flip the whole answer. Underline the word that names the task, such as main idea, infer, or closest in meaning, because that tells you the question type. And if the question gives you a paragraph letter, underline it. That saves you the most time of all. But be careful, the text will usually say it with a synonym, not the same word you underlined. Step 3. Know the 3 question types because each one is solved differently. Type 1, clearly stated. The answer is written in the text word for word. Type 2, not clearly stated. The answer is in the text but reworded, so you must match the meaning and not the letters. Type 3, inferential. The answer is never written at all. You work it out from the evidence. So here is how you attack each one. For a stated question, go back to the exact line and check that every word of the option matches. For a not stated question, hunt for synonyms and paraphrase. Same idea, new words. For an inference question, ask what the text implies, then find the evidence that supports it. And always eliminate any option that contains information the text never gave you, no matter how true it sounds in real life. That is the golden rule. Every correct answer must be provable from the text. Pens up. Part 3. The sample test. Same format as your real exam. 4 sections, 4 options, 1 correct answer. Section 1. Reading. Read this passage carefully because the first 5 questions all come from it. I will give you a moment, and notice those markers, 5A to 5D. That is the insert a sentence question, so keep them in mind. Question 1. The main idea of the text is blank. Pause and choose. The answer is A. A quick way of meeting people and the skill it teaches. A main idea must cover the whole text. The others are only details. Question 2. What happens after exactly 3 minutes? It is C. A bell rings and the men change tables. Careful with A. The women stay at the same table all evening. Question 3. Which word is closest in meaning to prospective? In paragraph A. A. Potential. A prospective partner is a future one. Former means the opposite. Question 4. What can we infer from paragraph D. B. Original questions produce more interesting conversations. She swapped dull openers for imaginative ones, and suddenly 3 minutes felt too short. Question 5. Insert the sentence in the correct place. The answer is 5B. It explains the predictable replies just before it, and it sets up, so she began asking imaginative questions. Always read both sides. Section 2. Vocabulary. Question 6. A card where you write the points is A blank. B. A scorecard. A badge is the thing you wear on your clothes. Question 7. She started blank in a silly way every time he spoke. C. Giggling. To giggle is to laugh in a silly way because you are amused or nervous. Question 8. He tried to blank the girl next to him. A. Chat up. It is a phrasal verb to talk to someone because you are attracted to them. Question 9. Context in action. He gave a grimace as the needle went in. A. An expression of pain on your face. The clue is the needle. That is not a happy face. Section 3. Grammar and structure. Question 10. Blank do you earn? B. How much? Money is uncountable, so never how many. Question 11. Blank, you ever said, I love you and not meant it? C. Have, ever plus a past participle means present perfect. Question 12. Who, blank, crime and punishment? B. Wrote. This is a subject question. Who is the doer, so there is no did? Question 13. What kind of music, blank? C. Does Tim usually listen to? Keep that preposition, to, at the end. Question 14. Could you tell me how much blank? B. This book costs. It is an indirect question, so no does and no inversion. Question 15. All the following questions are incorrect except C is correct. How long have you known your best friend? A adds did to a subject question. B has no auxiliary at all. And D inverts inside an indirect question. Section 4. Writing. Question 16. Which sentence is written and punctuated correctly? A. Do you know where she lives? No inversion inside, but the whole sentence is still a question, so it takes a question mark. Question 17. Spelling. All are incorrect except B. Questionnaire. Double M and it ends A-I-R-E. Here is the full answer key. Screenshot this one. So, how did you do? 14 or more and you are exam ready. Under 10, go straight back to the 2 rules that decide most of these marks. Subject questions take no auxiliary. Indirect questions take no inversion. Master those 2 and this whole section becomes free marks. Good luck.